What's popping? Well, I know DP. I'm shaking my head too. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe, baby. It's a vibe. What's popping? It's your boy
Yes,
Ray
sir.
G. You can find me on X at RayGQue. Joined as always by my brother from another mother. Y'all know it is Damian Parson over there at DP_NFL. DP. It's the second week in a row. I feel like we're making
Yes,
good
sir.
progress. We're here. We are live on X. We're live on YouTube. We got some people in the building today, so we'll engage, especially as we get to the mock. But DP, I don't even want to play around, okay? I want to intro you. People know where to find you, the scouting room on YouTube. The link is already in the description of the video. I saw more people going over there after the other video. If you're sub to me, sub to DP. Like, this is somebody
Understand.
that I talk to, I trust when it comes to prospect talent evaluation. The big elephant in the room, or maybe not so much anymore, DP, the quarterback class, 2026, Dante Moore. Dante Moore is staying at Oregon, all right? And you and I have talked about this privately, but you're your own man. You've got your own opinions. You've got your own feelings about this situation. The 2026 quarterback class has been much discussed this year. It is thought of as a weak QB class, and this was a guy that was projected to be a top 5 pick, potentially number 2 overall. DP, the floor is yours. Dante Moore going back to Oregon. How do you feel, man?
I respect his decision, betting on himself, believing like, hey, one more year at Oregon, one more year in Autzen, I can get better. I can improve. That being said, it's a very risky decision because you were viewed, scouts have been on watching his tape since the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? I talked to some folks and they're like, yeah, like we believe he's going to go top 5. He would have been top 2 to the New York Jets and they need that quarterback, right? We had to wait to see if that would have came to fruition. But going back to school, it's just risky, man, because now what I think one of the things that people think is like, okay, you exhaust your reps and you get all the reps in college. And I'm kind of a glass half full type of guy too. So it's like I get that. But at the same time, you also open yourself up to more opportunities for teams to see where I struggle. And especially if that K Klubnik, Drew Aller, Garrett Nussmeier. Heck, we were talking about Lenore Sellers going back
Sellers.
going back would have been a top 5 pick this year. Just because of the projection doesn't mean that that's going to happen. This isn't a video game where you just press the button. For all my college football 26 fans, you play Dynasty, you know what I'm talking about. Training results, you go in, click your player, and you go and manually upgrade certain things, right? Like that's not how this works. So as much as I do believe the reps could help him, it could also hurt him because at the end of the day, the thing that he needed to get better with, he was gun shy, intense versus pressure. And Ray, he's supposed to be losing 3 of his 5 starting offensive linemen from this past season. You're putting in 3 new starters, a new left tackle, a new right tackle, a new left guard. You got to build that continuity up, right? Once we figure out what the starting 5 will look like, is a chance that doesn't get fixed because the fact that the next offensive line could give up pressure next year too. The main thing is will be mentally, it's not a skill thing for him. It's standing in there. You want to know when I knew I really was going to be all in on Fernando Mendoza, Ray? Watch him at Cal, that Auburn game. There
Okay.
were multiple throws where Auburn's defense got pressure. There was a play where they got a free runner on the running back, blew the running back up into Mendoza's right knee, and he throws a dime of a back shoulder while going down or somebody hitting in his knee. He has a free runner up the gut, like through the center, through the A gap, knows he's going to get blasted, drills a seam route. And I'm like, that stuff translates to the league. That's a mentality, though. So whether for me with Dante Moore, I respect his decision and I hope he gets better. But you got to come back next year stronger, more physical, and tougher when pressure is on. Not pressurized moments when the defense has an answer and they can get to you. He's got to fix that because if he doesn't matter if you go back to school for 2 more years. If you don't mentally toughen up to say, I got to stand 10 toes down and make this throw, it's going to be all for naught. You're going to get the NIL, but you got to develop mentally on your own.
I hear you, man. He was one for me, DP, that for the past couple of months that I've been doing these mock drafts, he was one where every time I was at the top of the board, I would say, like, I don't think he's going to come out.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm being too critical, but it just this year for me, DP, it didn't feel like one of those years where you just kind of knew like that is a surefire top pick. A lot of people
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
I get the tools and the traits of what Dante Moore has and what he put, but it didn't feel like that to me. So he's going back to school, and everything that you say, he's got to have a new offensive coordinator. Looks like Evan Stewart's going to be back. DeCorian Moore will be there, healthy, feeling good. They're going to lose Malik Benson. They're going to lose Kenyon Sadiq, but you've got Jamari Johnson, who
Yeah.
I don't want to say it
He's
today,
good.
but he's
He's
pretty
good.
damn
He's
good.
good.
Okay, he's pretty good.
He's good.
The running backs are going to be good, and with Dan Lanning there, they're going to be good. Oregon's going to be a good team.
For sure.
Now he goes into the 27 group, and we've already seen people talking about the 27 class, and I'm just going to mention a few of the names in 2027, with the biggest one being the player that I would project to be the number 1 overall pick going into the season. And I know that sounds a little crazy today, but I would say that would be Arch Manning. And here's my thing with Arch, DP, and tell me if I'm off, if you agree or disagree. The idea of what we thought Arch Manning was going to be coming into this season, I think a lot of people, myself included, were expecting a more cerebral quarterback this early, a sit back in the pocket, dissect, play like Peyton, play like Eli. And then you go to the end of the season when Texas and Steve Sarkisian started to say, you know what? Get him out of the pocket. Let's get him on the move. Let's roll him out. Let's utilize his legs. He ain't sneaky athletic. Arch Manning might be one of the better athletes at the quarterback position in college football. And when they started to utilize his legs more, it's like, oh, that's what you want. That dude's big. Arch isn't some little dude. He's a
like
big 6'4", and he's rocked up. So if he can just continue to, I don't think he's ever going to be Peyton Manning the passer. I don't, DP.
No,
deep ball dies. I don't think it's like I don't know if it's the arm strength or the velocity, but
his mechanics are not good.
Okay,
the mechanics are not good.
There it is. The mechanics are bad. But if he plays more like that, more of a dual threat type of quarterback, or one that is more of a tactical scrambler, I really like that. Maybe some Jackson Dart sort of level rushing upside to his game, but he's going to have to deal with Arch Manning. You're going to have Lenora Sellers back from South Carolina. We've got 2 transfers. You're talking about Fernando Mendoza. Josh Hoover is at Indiana now with Signetti.
He can spin it. He can spin it.
We've got Sorsby going to Texas Tech.
Ray, that's the one right there. That's the one.
Well,
like the height, the size, the arm talent, the mobility. That's like, think back, because I think you did this a while back. I don't know if we were still with the Draft Network or not, but you brought something to my attention that I never really thought about. You was like, you guys realize it's very rare that the top consensus pick is the guy who selected the very next rare. In that next draft.
Very
and
rare.
Ever since you said that, I always paid attention to that. And yeah, Arch is going to be the top guy at the quarterback position going in, because we saw the development. We saw him get better. I remember I did a Watch the Tape episode on the Locked On NFL Draft podcast where I watched the film. I think it was the Mississippi State game. And I'm like, yeah, he's anticipating throws better. He's starting to layer the ball a little bit. The mechanics, he's kind of, you know how like over the last like maybe 2 years, a lot of NFL gurus would be like, hey, Lamar's doing way too much sidearm. It's that with Arch. It's a lot of the sidearm, kind of almost like a shortstop just ripping that throw to first base or to home. And it's like, if you can get that mechanics a little more fluid, it's a little stiff looking at times. He doesn't always engage his feet. So you see a lot of the times the ball does die down the field. But I look at Brendan Sorsby, and this was a guy that scouts were excited about. And if his play stayed consistent throughout the season, I think there's a chance he would have entered the draft, because he probably would have been a first-round pick. You know what I mean? This cat has all the tools, but it's the fact that he wasn't consistent all season. But, man, going to Texas Tech, they have long money. They have their oil money. They have donors. And I remember watching an interview of one of the guys who put together like almost a collective of millionaires and billionaires to put the money together to go get Romello Hyatt, Lee Hunter, and David Bailey. They knew and understood the assignment. We got to go get Porter, use the money. Brendan Sorsby is a quarterback I think everybody needs to be paying attention to, because you put him in this offense. that they have, a lot of spread, air raid type stuff. I think this kid could put up some big time numbers, and he has all the physical tools that we look for.
I mean, you got Sorsby, all the physical tools. Here's one too, DP, that I think if all things hit right with his situation change, I mean, Sam Levitt at LSU. This was somebody we talked about earlier in the season. What did you call it? Chaos when he's out there on the field. He's got to reel it in a little bit, but he's got rushing upside. The point is, where do you realistically think Moore slots in next year? 2027 draft, Dante Moore, and we didn't even touch on the other guys. I'm talking about Jaden Mauigoa from USC. We didn't talk about the DJ Lagway, Aiden Childs. I'm just giving you the quarterback names. CJ Carr, Julian Saint. Where does Dante Moore? Because here's my thing, DP. I said it on Wake Up, and maybe I'm wrong. If Moore truly was going to be the number 2 overall pick, man, why? I don't think he's avoiding the Jets. I sit back today and I'm thinking to myself, are we sure that we know that he had that type of grade? Even if some scouts thought he can go that high, if he were going to be that high, DP would have come out. That's just me. I could be totally off there, but you throw him in next year's class, where's he ranked? Because I can't even realistically say he's number 1. Like, I'm not going to put him at 1. I'm not putting him at number 1 going into the season, DP. Do you have him early? This is, let me check, January 15th, 2026. Would you have him projected as your top guy going into next season?
Man, I think where he right now, January, what'd you say today was the 15th?
15th, yeah.
More. I think he's going to probably be, like I said, I got Arch at 1. I'm gonna put him at 2 for now.
Okay.
I think there's a strong chance he could fall in this class. I think this class, when you look at the physical tools and talents of these kids coming in, that's going to be eligible. I was messaging multiple people while I was messaging you last night. And I was talking to one of my guys who's a scout, and I was like, man, he was like iffy on it too. He's like, man, I feel like he still should have came out. He said the risky thing is, what if Lenore Sellers hits his peak next year? What if, like, you know what I mean? What if that third year as a full-time starter, you hit that ground running and we see the full flower, just bloom and blossom of Lenore Sellers? And it's like, how is the NFL GM going to look at Lenore Sellers? And Dante Moore said, all right, this dude's finally developed. He has all the tools that we look for in a star quarterback. Your tools are good. His tools are elite. Like, you're going to probably fall down the board just a little bit. So, I got him at 2 behind Arch. And I'm going to be honest, I just thought about it. Like, you got Darian Mensah from Duke. A guy who played well.
Yep.
And I don't know, I understand that NIL for him going back. I felt like he could have been a first-round pick, man. Like, the accuracy, he's got a good arm, not great and everything, but I think this next class, if everything holds, which I want to warn everybody, it typically doesn't. Our projections, our thoughts, and our feelings, it typically does not hold like that. But if things do hold at least 70%, this class can be really good. I think this could be a class where, what was that, 2024 when we got
24
six in the first 12 or 13? Like, we could get that again, Ray.
We look at the NFL playoffs. 3 of the remaining teams in the playoffs have quarterbacks from 2024. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix all have their teams 1 win away from the conference championship. It was a great class in 2024. Before we get to the mock, what's it mean for 2026? Okay. I will not spoil the surprise. Fernando Mendoza, no doubt, is the one. I know there was some different conversation. There were a couple of people out there, DP, that said that Moore could go ahead of Fernando Mendoza and he could actually fall to the Jets. I guess the bigger question is this a year where we get multiple quarterbacks in year 1, or does this look a lot like 2022 where we only had 1 first-round quarterback, 2025, we had 2, but one of them was very late in Jackson Dart. I mock Trinidad Chambliss, kind of just fun. Like, they got a second pick, but I'm thinking, like, man, is that really a guy you take with a first-round pick in an NFL draft class? We've got Ty Simpson in here. Does he work himself into that round one? You think he does, right? You think when it's all said and done, he will have worked his way into being a first-round pick. But the gap between, where's he go? You're saying top 10, top 5 DP? Like, where do you think he realistically, he aces the pre-draft process? I went and looked to make sure I was good. 9 games, DP. He had 9 quality starts this season. Where does he go?
Whew, Ty Simpson. Oh man. That's gonna be tough. Like I think I still am hard pressed to believe he goes to top 10. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I like him. You know, I feel like, hey, he's a draft and stash situation to me. Like, for a team with a veteran like the Rams, that, you know, late, you know, hopefully for them it's a really late first round pick. Like, you able to get that 5th-year option, sneak that in, so you get that extra year of, hey, rookie year, we're gonna sit you, we're gonna let you develop and kind of slow cook, be behind one of the best veteran quarterbacks in the league, and let you learn from him, right? And I think that's what you can do. But I mean, I could, a team like Arizona, right? We watched the Falcons trade up to go get JPJ, and people absolutely criticize him last. James Pierce Jr., one, you know, arguably the best defensive rookie in the class, that had Abdul Carter go top 5, top 4, right? He was better than Abdul, which is crazy to think about. So I think that this could be a situation where if he does come off the board, I think it's late round 1. He aces the pre-draft process, the interviews, he does well, right? He starts showing some of his some of his character and who he is, right? After they beat Oklahoma, he used the Geno Smith line. They wrote us off, but we didn't write back. Well, you wrote back against Indiana. You know what I mean? It just was a week too late. You put it in the mail. You know what I mean? So I think for him, to me, he's gonna have to throw at the combine. You're gonna have to throw. You're gonna have to let these rip these throws, showcase the accuracy, showcase, hey, I don't know these guys from a can of paint, but I'm gonna anticipate these breaks though, and I'm gonna put it out there, give them a chance to catch. I'm gonna throw catchable passes, I'm gonna throw accurate passes, and let them get their opportunities. I think for him, it's going to be a situation where either somebody like Arizona moves up. They got Arizona's like 34 or something like 34, 35, pick 34, 35. They can trade up and get him, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, especially, you know, depends on who the new head coach is. Is this a scheme fit? What happens with Kyler Murray? It's so many other questions, man. But I absolutely think that this is an opportunity for him to go back of the first round. Back of the first round. Yeah, if you give me a full season of consistent play like he did, I'll be perfectly fine with it.
Somebody said, Chris said we need to get Ray drafted to a 37U team. 37U. Let me tell you, I don't qualify. I'm too old to play in 37U, so I cannot participate, and my Achilles tendon is destroyed. Just make the people feel good about Trinidad Chambliss. Like, is this a starting NFL quarterback, in your opinion? Just in your opinion, is he a starting quarterback? Now, I'm not saying he's a goddamn franchise changer. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer. Is he a starting NFL quarterback?
Ray, I think Trinidad could be – I think he could be a long-term starter in the league. I think I put in my report Russell Wilson. I put Russell Wilson. He gives me a little bit of that Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray vibe, where it could be chaotic in the pocket, but but it's kind of control chaos, right? And I always going back to that Georgia game. You saw him for a second time, and I just love the fact that he understood what they did to him in the first game, and he understood how to counter it the second time. The pressure, from the defensive line, interior pressure, things of that nature, using his legs. Hey, you have a God-given gift with mobility. Use that when it's necessary. That's your get out of jail free card in Monopoly, right? Slam it on the table and say, you know what? I am invoking this so that you don't get into trouble. And I think, he's got a good arm. The main things for me is just I want to see him speed up the processing a little bit. I think if he does that, man, yeah, this dude can play. Like, he can absolutely play in this league. Get him with crazy enough, if Cliff Kingsbury became a head coach somewhere, I think he would be the ideal pick.
Okay.
At quarterback. If it was a situation that needed a quarterback, I think if Cliff got a job that did not have a starting quarterback, that would be his situation. You know what I mean? That would be his situation where you like Cliff looks at him like, hey, maybe I get a more, I don't want to say in a negative way, but more mature Kyler Murray, right? I don't have to deal with the things I dealt with Kyler, with the Trinidad and everything. And I think I think Trinidad, I understand why he's trying to go back. He wants to put another year on wax. He wants to show this wasn't a fluke. This wasn't Lane Kiffin. I can do this again. And if he's staying at Ole Miss, if that waiver or that lawsuit goes through, Lane Kiffin's in LSU. Charlie Weiss Jr. will be at LSU, right? That offensive coaching staff will be there. And if he puts up another or replicates that type of success, man, like, yeah, he's gonna help himself a lot. I mean, he's short, he's about 6 foot, so you're gonna deal with some batted passes at the line of scrimmage and things like that. But I think this is a guy that has the work ethic to start to learn how to climb the pocket. These shorter quarterbacks, study Drew Brees, man. Study Drew Brees, the way he navigated the pocket and found ways to get the ball out and not had to deal. He's throwing in the midst of trees, and he never looked bothered. But there's a reason for that. He understood pocket navigation and how to attack it. So I think this kid could be a long-term starter in the league if given the opportunity.
All right, well, you're going to have your chance, GM. You're going to have your chance to make him a long-term starter because, DP, we got to mock. We got to talk about it. We talked about Moore and his decision. Get him out of there. I did a mock on Tuesday. Rip it up. Throw it out because I had damn Dante Moore number 2 overall. So we got to redo it. So I'm like, man, I got to do a mock. I'm going to make DP do the mock. So we're going to pull it up. We got the people in the chat. Comment. Let us know what y'all are thinking and what y'all want to do, too, as we go through this. But right here at the top, and I'm asking you this question, DP. The Raiders are probably not a quarterback away. Is there any chance, because of how thin the QB position is this year, what could they get trading the first overall pick? If we're looking on the board, the Browns wanted to move up. The Dolphins wanted to move up. Could Arizona jump the Jets? Could the Jets move up one spot? They've got 16. They've got an extra pick in 2027. If the Raiders decided, you know what, we're going to full reset. We're going to accumulate draft capital. We're going to move off of Max Crosby, get some picks for him. Is there any chance the Raiders move off of number 1 overall?
Slight, I think it's a slight chance.
Okay.
I think they've been in that spot in the draft, that like 6 to 8 range when the quarterbacks up until the 2024 class, where you had 6 quarterbacks drafted. They were like outside of the realm where the 6 quarterbacks went. That was the one time they were outside of that 6 to 8 range. If they were in that realm, they would have had a young quarterback right now, whether that would have been a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix Jr., JJ McCarthy. They had their guy. I think it's slight. I think this is a team that's probably going to use try to exhaust their resources in free agency, rebuild this offensive line, just develop this team and add more veteran pieces to it and go get you a Fernando Mendoza. But I do believe if they really put that up for sale and maybe call the Jets, they could get some of those picks that the Jets are holding on to after making those trades.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's get the draft sounder. Is that that's the wrong chime. That's the bell cow chime. I need to get the draft chime. There we go. The draft is started. We're going to try to get through this quickly, DP. So right here at the top, Raiders are going Mendoza, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and lock that in. Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders. And now everybody's most difficult decision. What do you do at 2 for the Jets? The Jets are on the clock at 2. No quarterback, wide receiver, D-line, linebacker, corner. Early thoughts on where the Jets go at 2?
I definitely think that D-line could be in play for them. It's too high for a receiver. Could look at corner, you know what I mean? But I wonder for the Jets, they have 4 picks within the top 45. I think
Yes, they
this,
do.
like, I know people would hate it. I think they could look at Caleb Downs and go best player available, Caleb Downs or Arvell Reese. The Rueben Bain thing would be interesting because I do think some teams are going to try and knock him for the arm length. But I could see them saying, you know what, let's go with one of the top players on the board, bar position, and make the move that they need to make. I could see Arvell Reese or Caleb Downs. I'm gonna say, I say go Arvell Reese. I say
You
go
want to go
Reese.
Reese?
Big, but you got to make him an edge. You got to make him an edge.
Golly, DP, why are you saying this? You're confused. Damn it, man. I've been rewatching him and talking about him as a linebacker that can rush the passer. The tools are there. The physical gifts are undoubtedly there. But if you're just watching the tape and judging him off of edge reps, you're going to be disappointed because he's not as refined in that area yet. But if you think that's the pick, I kind of want to just go Downs. I think Downs is the better player, DP. I think overall, Caleb Downs is the better
100%.
player.
I'm with you.
I understand he'd be the highest drafted safety of all time. And it's not to say he's the best safety of all time or one of the highest drafted safeties of all times. I think he's the better player. But do you think that Reese fits the Jets more than Downs? It's a better fit in New York, or it doesn't even matter? He's that good. It's just.
I think he has a really high ceiling at edge. I think you see the speed, the power. Like you said, he's not refined. He's got to work on some of those pass rush counters and everything physically. I think he projects better going downhill than he does dropping back, even though I think he's a good linebacker. But the Downs thing, actually, I think either one of them could be in play. They have a big need at edge with, I think Jermaine Johnson's got a contract that's up and everything.
Reese.
So they need to replace some of that D line. So I say,
you sold me. Okay, they're going Arvell Reese. He's back in the top, number 2 overall. Cardinals team used to cover. They're on the clock at 3. I've given D-line. I've given him Jeremiah Love in a mock. I have given him Francis Mauigoa in a mock. I saw one today where I think it was Spencer Fanu was 3rd overall to the Cardinals. Where do you want to go with Arizona?
Man, I feel like I know they've gone defensive line a lot, these past couple years. I think BJ Ojulari, the
Walter
couple
Nolan.
guys they've drafted,
Walter
honestly.
Nolan last year, but he tore his
Walter
knee,
Nolan.
Tore his knee up.
Yeah, tore his knee up. And I know they I think Darius from Missouri, the big 6'6" kid that played DN and D tackle. I was crazy enough, I would go David Bailey here. I feel like they need a guy off the edge.
I
feel like the way I look at edge rushers, Ray, on 3rd and 5, it's the same way I look at the 4th quarter with a minute left and we need a bucket. Who's your bucket getter? David Bailey.
All right. Tennessee's on the clock at 4. I don't really. I think some of the needs here are a little. I don't know how they come up with these needs, but. Are you pairing somebody next to Jeffrey? I know. Are you pairing somebody next to Simmons? Are you looking to get Cam Ward some help? My thought with Tennessee is this feels like a team with Ward. I like their 2 young receivers, DP. I think there's something there with Elik Manor, and I like Chimere Dike. That feels like a team with $100 million in cap space. Go get a veteran. Go get a veteran wide receiver to come in to play alongside Cam Ward. And this receiver class is deep enough to where you could get a developmental guy in round 2 that's still probably pretty good. Right here at the top, what are we doing for the Titans?
Man, I'm trying to create as much chaos for offenses in that division as possible. I want Rueben Bain Jr. alongside Jeffrey Simmons. I want to get after CJ Stroud. I want to get after Trevor Lawrence. Whoever's going to be in Indianapolis, we don't know right now who's going to be their quarterback. I want to get after them.
Okay. All right. And the Giants are on the clock at 5, DP. Let's hit the draft chimer for the Giants. New head coach, John Harbaugh. You've got Dart. There is some concern that Malik Neighbors may not be 100% to start the season. He came out and said, hey, my knee was kind of jacked up, right? They had to fix the ACL. There were some other things in there that needed to be cleaned up. Wan'Dale Robinson is a free agent, the offensive line. When Andrew Thomas is out there, it's a lot better, but you got to find somebody on that right side. I think they're okay with John Michael Schmitz probably on the interior. Where do the Giants go here at 5? I've given them everything. To me, it feels everyone tells me it's too high for safety. It feels high for one of the receivers. But what else do you take? Like, they've got to make the picks that are available to them. No Jeremiah Love. They've got their backfield in place with Scadaboo and Tracy. Where do the Giants go at 5?
Man, playmaker for me. I look at wide receiver. Jordan Tyson is still my wide receiver 1. I'm waiting for the combine to get the whether it's the green light or the red light, you know what I mean, on the red flag on the medicals for him. I just think he's such a dynamic and complete wide receiver. He gives you everything from route running to speed, yak, strength, ball skills. He gives you everything, man. The main thing is just health. And I think a guy that pairs well with Malik Neighbors when he does return, and also he can kind of fill that Malik Neighbors role until Malik's Neighbors is ready to go, where Carnell Tate doesn't fill that exact same role in this offense. I said, let's go Jordan Tyson. Let's give Jackson Dart another big-time playmaker.
I love it. Jordan Tyson, he too is my wide receiver 1. We'll see how the medicals check out. A lot of concern about the hamstring. I know he suffered an ACL earlier in his football playing career, but I think he's just when the ball is in his hands, his route running ability, the way he tracks the ball, attacks the ball. I don't know how people watch him and don't think he's an outstanding player. Cleveland's on the clock at 6. They need a quarterback. They got 3 on the roster, and that quarterback room, I'd love to be a fly on the wall during meetings with Deshaun Watson, Shedeur, and Dylan Gabriel. All 3 should be on the roster next year. 6, is that too high to think about Ty Simpson? Do we want to go that route? Wide receiver, I think O-line is also a position of need for the Browns. DP, their offensive line was decimated this year. I know what a lot of people have done, including myself throughout these mocks, is just give them a receiver. Oh, Carnell Tate, he went to Ohio State, so there's the fit. Are we going to dig a little deeper, or are we going chalk with Carnell Tate?
I want to go offensive line. I want to make sure whoever I do put behind center, they're protected. Because at the end of the day, like I would like to see Shedeur get that next opportunity, but we gotta, if you want him to really develop, you gotta break some of the bad habits that was created behind them piss poor offensive lines at Colorado for 2 years, and the backpedaling and retreating has to stop. So I say, you look at Caleb Lomu at left tackle, Spencer Fano,
Francis.
Let's
plays right tackle.
Let's go Francis Mauigoa.
Okay. All right. I like it. I do like it.
Francis. I think Francis gives you that inside-out versatility.
Now we're doing something different, because every damn mock I see and everyone I've done, I just pencil in a wide receiver to Cleveland. This is good. I think that would be a home run pick. And I know a lot of people hated the Mason Graham pick at the time, but they attacked the trenches. That was a great pick. And they've got another pick later on. Let's just see what wide receiver is available to us in the late 20s once we get there. Washington's on the clock. I've given him every damn thing. And we had somebody in the chat. Shout out to we had somebody in the chat. Okay, we had somebody, and I gotta call it out, because they gave me some shit, DP, whenever I mocked Jeremiah Love to the Commanders. They're like, man, we got running backs. So what are you doing, man? But we got one right here from Wiz the Tube. Wiz the Tube is in the building, and he said, hey, I'm one of them Commanders fans, bro, that was saying you were wrong with Jeremiah Love when you picked him 7. Now with Dante Moore going back, and if all the elite defenders in Reese, Bain, Downs, Bailey, we take him. So talking about Jeremiah Love, so that's a Commanders fan saying that they're coming around to Jeremiah Love being a playmaker in this offense. But it ain't no doubt about it, man. Defensively, they got to do something, man. They have got to get better. Dan Quinn, you came in and you were billed as a defensive guy, and your defense stinks. What do the Commanders do right here? Saying they need every damn thing. You want to surround. It's the oldest team in the NFL. They were the oldest team in the NFL last year, and you've got a young quarterback going into a pivotal year 3 with damn Deebo Samuel and Treylon. Is this a sneak? What are we doing with Washington? I know Commanders fans ain't going to win. We got Terry McLaurin. Is it offense or defense? Where are we going, DP?
I'm a go defense, but I definitely think Carnell Tate would be a great fit
I
alongside
kind of
Terry
do too.
McLaurin, not just because of the Ohio State thing. Help JD5, like Kim Kyle said, help JD5, man. Give him another weapon too. But I think another weapon for them could be Caleb Downs on that defense with Dan Quinn calling
Oh,
that defense. They need to get some playmaking in that back end. You got Trey Amos, you
oh,
drafted last year. Caleb Downs is a high level communicator. This is a guy that could play the nickel. You could truthfully, if you think about how many times, I think when Geno Stone was still in Baltimore, they would go 3 safety sets, pull a linebacker off the field, and replace him with Kyle Hamilton, not calling Caleb Downs Kyle Hamilton. But you could do that if you're dealing with a team with a really good slot receiver, or you're dealing with a Jahmyr Gibbs in the NFC. You got a guy that can kind of move around in the shallow areas, take away those quick routes, RPO glance stuff. I think Caleb Downs will be a great fit, a home run fit for
man.
Dan Quinn in that defense.
Okay, we'll do it. Caleb Downs too. And the last time they took a safety high, I believe, turned out to be really good for that football team. Very, very good for that football team. And I'm
Absolutely.
talking about number 26, Sean Taylor. Saints are on the clock at 8. You have been a big fan and a big supporter of Tyler Shuck all throughout the process last year. Got his opportunity, and the Saints have their QB of the future. I love the pick of Kelvin Banks that they made earlier in that draft, along with Talisi Fuaga on the other side. So Kellen Moore's, it might take a little bit, but he's working with something now. We go in defense. We know Cam Jordan's probably not long for the wear in New Orleans. We've got D-line available. We've got linebacker available. We've got receivers that we could pair up with Tyler Shuck. And we also have a lovely running back out of Notre Dame. Where are we going at 8?
That's man. I definitely want to go offense. I want to help. We getting Shuck tonight, right? So I'm trying
Yeah.
to help Tyler Shuck out as
Oof.
much as I can in this situation. I say let's go Jeremiah Love. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and move the needle with a bell cow capable running back. I didn't look up Alvin Kamara's contract situation. Bell cow
Yeah,
signal.
that's the
Let's
cow.
go with a bell cow capable running back. I think Tyler Shuck showed so much in his limited starts this season once he got the job that said, you know what, let's expedite that. Let's speed up this development for you. Let's take it out of your hands sometimes, give you a running back that can stay healthy, that's younger. And if Alvin Kamara is still there, you got yourself a nice 1-2 punch in terms of Kamara, Jeremiah Love, the way you could be as balanced as possible. I think Jeremiah Love to the Saints makes a lot of sense.
Let me ask you this quickly. Where would he rank last year? Last year's running back class was ridiculous. Ashton Genty was in the class. You had Hampton. You've got Quinshawn Judkins, Travion Henderson, Scadaboo, Woody Mark. I mean, the class was loaded. RJ Harvey with talent, right? Where would he rank? And
Yeah.
it's hard because we know how the rookies have finished. We know Caleb Johnson didn't do a damn thing. We know
Mhm.
Scadaboo got hurt, but as prospects,
Right.
where do you think Love would have fit into that mix last year?
I think Love would have been RB1. I would have had him ahead of Genty. I like him that much. I think, for me, I love Genty, powerful running stuff like that. He just didn't have a lot of the lateral juice to string together cuts and just make multiple defenders miss. And you saw that kind of be, amplified behind that piss poor Raiders offensive line. And then looking at Jeremiah Love, he has a much higher ceiling to me as a route runner and a pass catcher out of the backfield. I think my comp for him was kind of Jahmyr Gibbs light. I think this guy, the home run hitting speed, he's got good size. He can run routes out the slot. I think I sent you one after week 1 when they played Miami. I think I
Yes.
texted you a rep where he was running an out route. I think it was against a nickel corner, and he smoked him. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a running back, man. So I think they would be very close in terms of being RB1A, 1B. He'll be up there with Genty and a little bit ahead of Hampton for me.
All right, where's Kansas City going at 9? This is a team, probably a little bit of a reset. And I'll just throw this out there. I was talking to Jordan Reed, draft analyst over at ESPN. You know him, worked with them at Draft Network. He thinks they need a real receiver. He's like, they need a real outside X type wide receiver. He said they need a lot of things, running back included. Uh, Unfortunately, that running back is gone. That would really hurt Kansas City. I think he would be very much in play for the Chiefs at 9
Mhm.
if he were there. I've given them Bain. I've gone D-line. Where are we going with Kansas City here?
You know, I agree with Jordan. They do need a real wide receiver, a true like potential outside guy. And I think I would go Carnell Tate. He's on the board. I would add Tate to this offense where you walk into the offense more than likely with Tate, Rashee Rice in the slot. If things work out off the field, he keeps getting into
Right.
stuff. It seems like everything. Xavier Worthy, I know he got the surgery done because he wasn't fully healthy last year and everything. I think I always say this: build your wide receiver core like a starting five on the basketball court. I don't want too many point guards. I don't need a bunch of shooting guards. I need guys that can fill multiple roles. And Carnell Tate will be that big body forward, whether it's power forward, small forward. He's a springy athlete that can battle at the catch point, great hands, a really good route runner and separator. He's a guy I believe you can funnel the offense through, and he can play in the slot and create matchups. I think that'll help a lot, especially once you get Pat Mahomes back.
All right. And pick 10, DP. And after pick 10, I'm going to do a little different exercise with you so we could just speed it up a little bit. But I really wanted to talk through these top 10. This Bengals team, offensively, they seem to be in place. They've got a running back. You know who the quarterback is. The pass catchers are good. Maybe they can upgrade tight end, do that through free agency, do that later in the draft, not here at pick 10. Where are the Bengals going? They're saying center, guard, D-line, and safety positions of need. Caleb Downs would be awesome there. I just doubt he's falling to Cowboys fans are like, oh, if he falls to 12. And I'm like, I doubt Caleb Downs is falling to 12. Where would the Bengals go here in this situation?
Let's take a look at offensive line real quick, Ray. Let's
All
take
right.
a look at offensive
All right, let's
line
go
and see what
tackles.
we
Put
have on
the
the board.
interior up. There we go.
Mm.
Spencer, Vega, Proctor, Lomu, Freeling, Brignon.
I don't think they don't need tackle. They're good at tackle. They need more center guards. So we're gonna go defense then. We're gonna go defense. We're gonna take the top defensive player on the board. Let's get Peter Woods here. Let's add a guy
They need
that's going to stop the run in a division that wants to run the football. Baltimore runs the ball. Quinshawn and Dylan Sampson and those guys in Cleveland, and we know that Pittsburgh will run the ball as well. Peter Woods is a really good run defender with upside as a pass rusher. Peter Woods is the pick.
All right, DP. I'm going to say the team, and without thinking about it, no thought. Tell me. Offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball is the focus, okay? Miami.
All right, let's go.
Where are we going?
Defense.
Defense? Okay. What defensive player to the Dolphins? What defensive player to the Dolphins? Cornerback. We've got some edge rushers. We'll talk about Falk. I would have him a little lower. We've got interior D-line. Where are we going defensively for Miami?
Let's go corner and let's go Mansoor Delane. Giving them a CB1 caliber prospect that they can build that secondary around as they look to move on from the old regime. I think Mansoor Delane, one of the best cover corners in this class.
I agree with you. Dallas Cowboys, offense, defense.
Defense.
Defense comes to mind.
This one's easy.
It's
Sonny
easy.
Styles.
Sonny Styles.
Sonny
Thank
Styles.
goodness.
Yeah,
Let me get myself an arrow on here. I made a good pick. Sonny Styles.
Easy.
Listen, we as a Cowboys fan, the last time the Cowboys took a linebacker from Ohio State in round 1, it didn't work out well. DP, do you know who it was? Do you know who the linebacker was that they took? Bobby Carpenter.
Was it Rolando?
It was Bobby Carpenter. It was Bobby Carpenter. They took him, I think he was 18th or 20th overall out of Ohio State. Did not work out too well. I think Sonny Styles is a much better player than Bobby Carpenter. And one of the things that people don't realize about his game, he's a converted safety. So he's still learning the linebacker position. And when I look at him, I don't know if you feel the same way, his frame, he probably can add some more weight on him. Like he looks like his frame, he can add more weight and probably needs to add a little bit more weight. Mark Fletcher put it to him in the hole in that college football semifinal matchup. But I do like the pick. It makes sense. Rams are on the clock at pick 13. Where are we going for Sean McVay? Offense, defense?
Defense.
Okay, defense.
Let's go corner.
You're going
Jermod
corner.
McCoy.
Yeah, you're going McCoy. There it is. They need it. You have been saying it for like the last 4 weeks.
They need it bad.
You say their defense is Swiss cheese. You continue to talk about their secondary being Swiss cheese.
A bunch of holes.
A bunch of holes. McCoy out of Tennessee. Again, medicals, right? Knee didn't play at all this year. Hopefully all that checks out with him. Baltimore, offense, defense. New coach. We don't know what they're going to do. I'll tell you who I picked for him last time, DP. I went O-line. I went Vega Ioane out of Penn State because they may lose Linderbaum, and Daniel Fulele is not good at left guard. If you want that team to be successful, protect Lamar, but I know they need weapons, probably defensive line as well. So where do you think they go?
I was going to go offensive line as well.
Okay.
I think Ronnie Stanley has been at left tackle. He's been okay, but I know he's getting towards the back end of his career. Vega Ioane is definitely somebody I think I've mocked to them before doing a mock myself. I think Vega is the move. Vega is one powerful dude, heavy hands. He's going to move people off the line of scrimmage. That's the Baltimore Ravens. That's their identity. They will beat you up. They will punch you in the face. And Vega Ioane is one of those interior offensive linemen that fits. They got to get Daniel Fulele out of there. And honestly, I feel like if anything was a fireable offense for Harbaugh, that was the fireable offense. You know how bad he's been all season, and you leave him in there to disrupt your offensive flow. Let's get a guy that can step in, bring some stability as a pass protector. He's a good athlete, and he's physical. Yeah. 100%.
We're going Vega. I love it. Love it. All right, Tampa Bay. Where are we going with the Bucs?
Jesus Christ. This does not fall out too well for the Bucs.
No.
Let's go defense. Let's go defense.
Okay, defense. Edge rusher, probably not a linebacker here. It would feel like a reach at corner, but I like the corners in this class. I was talking to somebody the other day. I think the corners are good. Edge rusher for Tampa Bay? Are we going edge?
I'm thinking edge. Yeah, I'm thinking edge here. I thought about adding maybe a Kenyon Sadiq, but I would like to improve this defense, man. They got to get after the quarterback. Too much of the sending pressure and blitzing like they did against Bryce, who was lighting them up like a Christmas tree this past December. So I'll say, if you scroll back up to the top of the board,
let me get these tight ends out. Let me get the tight ends out of the way, okay? Let me get the tight ends out of the way, and I'll throw D-line in there. We've got Falk, Howell, Parker, R. Mason. I mean, Mesidor, maybe too high for his age. I think Zion Young is way too low on here. We've got Romello Height.
Yeah. Let's go.
I know, right? You want to just look at the full. Let's go full
I think
board.
Go one of the top.
Let's go full board. This is everybody available. Or do you just want to go Sadiq at tight end?
Yeah, I want to go defense so bad, but let's go Kenyon Sadiq.
Okay.
The Cade Naughton thing isn't working. They need somebody with some speed and explosiveness, especially up the seams, off the play action, who also bring physicality to the run game at 6'3", 245. Yeah, let's go Kenyon Sadiq here. I don't think he's going to end up being a top 10 pick, but top 20 I'm fine with.
All right. The Jets, let's just remember what we did at the top. They went Arvell Reese, number 2 overall earlier in the mock. So now they're back up at 16. Is this a spot where they continue to load up on defense? Do they attack the offensive side of the ball? I mean, you got Garrett Wilson and Adonai Mitchell there. You've got Mason. Right? You want to go offense? Okay, where are we going?
Yeah. I want to go Mekhi Lemon right here. I want to go Mekhi Lemon. Let's get a sure thing at the receiver position. I think I'm hoping that Adonai Mitchell really finds his footing in this offense and everything, but it's just been too up and down in his career. I think Mekhi Lemon brings that chain mover to pair with Garrett Wilson for whoever's at quarterback, right? A really good route runner, a guy that has great spatial awareness and knows how to attack angles. And if you're going to play off coverage, you're cooked against Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah.
And then he's tough and physical for his size and frame after the catch. I think he pairs with Garrett Wilson very well.
And then that would allow Adonai Mitchell to continue to develop in that downfield field stretcher role, big play threat. I would like that receiving core of Lemon, Wilson, Mason Taylor, Adonai Mitchell. I guess we're looking at a veteran quarterback in New York. Let's talk about the Lions at 17. Every time I've done a mock, it's been O-line. Every time, and Lions fans have not given me any shit yet, DP. But do you want to switch it up because somebody's on the board that you like, or is it offensive line for the Lions?
It's offensive line for me. It's offensive line as well. And I would look at, I want to put Spencer Fano there.
Okay.
I know they need because they need tackle and they need center. I think you could go with two Ooses at the tackle position, him and Penei Sewell. Everybody remember Penei Sewell played left tackle
Yes, he did.
when he was coming out of college, right? So I think Spencer Fano was athletic enough to flip over if Sewell wants to stay at right tackle. But nonetheless, I think you improve this offensive line. I think anytime you have two bookend tackles, as two young bookend tackles, it allows your interior offensive line to help each other out.
What do we do for JJ McCarthy? How do we improve this Vikings team, DP? It's saying running back, center, defensive back. Harrison Smith is old. They spent a lot of money last year, and it just didn't work out. Will Fries got injured. I don't know if Jonathan Allen, they got Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State to fill that interior offensive line last year. Where do the Vikings go here in 2026?
For the Vikings, let's go. I'm looking at a guy right here at corner. I know the defensive coordinator is taking his rounds of interviews right now, but I think Avion Terrell would be a really nice fit in this defense.
Okay.
Playmaking, turnover creation. He's not, even though he's like 5'11", 6 foot somewhere in there. This is a guy that he's always around the ball. He's got smooth, fluid hips and can cover very well, man. Let me go Avion Terrell right here to the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, Avion Terrell. I think he leads the class in forced fumbles too at the cornerback position, which just shows he's
like 9.
Some want to, right? When you do stuff like that, it's the Peanut Tillman. Like, you got to have some want to go out there and consistently create turnovers. Panthers, you've kind of messed it up. I'll be honest with you, DP. I really wanted to put Kenyon Sadiq in Carolina, but he came off the board at 15. So the Carolina Panthers, a team that you know very well, what do they do? The floor is yours for Carolina.
I'm all about, just continuing to add on what you have. They have a needed linebacker. They really need a linebacker. They need edge rush help to help with Nick Scourton as well. So let's look and see what we have at linebacker and edge that will make sense for if Evero, their defensive coordinator, returns.
Yeah.
I love CJ Allen, man.
You do? Okay.
I love CJ Allen.
Okay.
And yeah, I like CJ Allen a lot. Fast, explosive. He's physical. He's instinctive. Let's go CJ Allen to become the new man in the middle for this defense. Kenyon Sadiq not being on the board. I thought about KC Concepcion right here.
Okay.
But Panther fans love them some Jalen Coker. But let's go CJ Allen. Let's get a playmaker and a guy that can really be the green dot for that second level of that defense.
It feels like a Dan Morgan kind of guy. For those of you who don't know, Dan Morgan, pretty good linebacker during his time at Miami. Feels like a Dan Morgan kind of guy. DP, these are my Dallas Cowboys. Okay, these are my Dallas Cowboys, and I picked Sonny Styles. We picked Sonny Styles at 12. On the last one, I'm not going to say a damn thing. Your assessment of this team and what they should do here at 20.
Got a linebacker. We could go edge because that is clearly a need as well. After trading Mike. Man, Cassius Howell, really good pass rush. I just don't know if he's gonna hold up in the run game. That's the only problem.
Probably won't.
Man, Dallas having he won't. Dallas having two first round picks is just it's stressful. It's very stressful for Dallas. But you know what? I want to go corner.
Okay.
Getting rid of Trayvon Diggs. Getting rid of Diggs, letting him go. Let's go Colton Hood. I think this guy has major upside as a man-to-man corner, a guy that can play on the island on the outside. He's got good size. and everything. And he's still a young cat. He's a redshirt sophomore coming out. I didn't even think he was going to declare, but he did. So shout out to him. Tennessee, man, I know it sucked for them not having Jermod McCoy out there. Let's go. Yeah, let's go add another corner to Dallas.
Holton Hood, they need defensive back. I am totally fine with this. I've seen it. They need defensive back. I also think O-line could be in play for him. Terrence Steele, not very good. Tyler Guyton, we'll see how it's working out. Protect Dak Prescott, but I'm with you. When your defense is as bad as theirs is, you probably need a lot of help on that side of the ball. Okay, 21, DP.
Facts.
Pittsburgh, is this the spot?
Offense, baby.
Is it? Okay, offense. What are we doing?
It's offense for me.
What are we doing?
Let's go receiver.
Oh,
I gotta go because you got DK Metcalf.
You don't want to entertain it? I know you forgot he was in the class. You don't want to entertain it. You don't want. I'm just.
I did forget.
We're in the war room, DP. You're ready. You were ready to go receiver. I'm just. Maybe for this pick you could say, Ray, that they're gonna go sign Malik Willis. They'll go trade for Mac Jones. They're gonna bring in a veteran. We got to improve the. What do you want? This is your pick, DP. You said offense. I'm throwing it out there in case you forgot. Ty Simpson is in the class. I feel like you want to go receiver though.
I want the Ty Simpson thing is definitely intriguing because you don't know who's going to be a quarterback. But I would like to add whoever's going to be the quarterback. I need to add some explosive weapons. And I think what did you say on Good Up the other day that Rodgers was throwing to a receiver smaller than you and Calvin Austin. So let's go get Casey Concepcion to pair with DK Metcalf and those tight ends. A guy that I think for those who are going to be in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, if you see your boy, say what's up to your boy, I'll be there. I think this kid could end up dominating one-on-ones. He's explosive. He's dynamic. 5'11", 190. Turn on the tip against Notre Dame, turn on the tip against LSU. He gave those corners fits. This is a guy that could be a big-time player. Like I said, you see what Luther Burton is doing for Chicago? Casey Concepcion, I think, can do that and a little bit more for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this situation.
When I saw him in the pregame, I was at the Miami Texas A&M game, and I saw him live, DP. He was a lot bigger than I thought he would be. Like, I thought he was going to be a smaller kind of receiver, and I looked, and I was like, oh, shit, he's a lot bigger than I thought. So I know he is going to cook in Mobile.
Love to hear that.
I know he is going to cook in Mobile. You're going to have fun watching him. Chargers, we got to protect Herbert, right? Defense, do we go? Do we need do and what I've heard is the injury that Rashawn Slater suffered, the patella, you just don't know how those guys come back from that. You don't know how those big dancing bears come back from such a devastating injury. When they have their bookend tackles, that team is great. They lost both of them, and there was no replacement. None whatsoever. I've given him Proctor, talking about maybe do you kick him inside the guard. You've got Lomu. Some people are like, why would you take a projected guard over the best guard that's in the class that's available? But where do you think the Chargers end up going with this pick?
Definitely offensive line. And I would say I would go Lomu here. I think Lomu, and to me, it's a best of both worlds situation for Lomu because Lomu does give you that ability. I think from a size standpoint, and even I think he can get stronger and add more weight to his frame and everything. He's got light feet. He can move laterally and everything. Protect the passer. If Slater is not ready and he's not back to being himself, you got yourself your future tackle to step in and replace him. But if Slater does return, now you got a guy that can kick in that guard and give you that as well. So I say take Caleb Lomu here. Proctor's going to be an interesting one. I don't know how I'm going to feel on Proctor by the time
Are you not as high on him? Are you not as high on him? A lot of people are like, to be as big as and athletic as he is, he just doesn't play with power. Doesn't know what he's doing half the damn time. Are you just a little lower on him? I mean, 6'7", 360, and they run him, they play him, they throw him he's so athletic. How can he not be? I just you see somebody with those God-given physical, just born with it. You're like, I want to try, right? 6'7", 360, and can move. You're not a fan though, huh, DP?
His tape is too up and down. He's got to work on the mechanics a lot. Like he's got to get refined. You know what I mean? And I think that would be a great fit for him. Crazy enough, this might be the place for him to go. Jeff Stoutland University with the Eagles offensive line coach, who turned Mekhi Becton.
Where are we going?
I said let's go to the offensive line. Let's get Caden Proctor and let's send him to Jeff Stoutland University and let's put him in that guard. I think you got this offensive line has to get back to their bread and butter. How did you butter your bread? Physicality, power, strength up front, moving guys, creating rushing lanes for Saquon and Jalen Hurts. I think kicking Caden Proctor in that guard, and maybe potentially Stoutland helps him develop at tackle to where whenever Lane Johnson calls it quits, you can kick him the right tackle. But I think putting them in this offensive line room will help him out a lot.
All right, we wanted to play the weight game with the Browns. We did not take a wide receiver at 6. I would love this if I were the Browns. Francis Mauigoa at the top of the draft. They're back up here at 24. You want to attack the wide receiver position? Do you want to go quarterback? Do you want to go somewhere else?
Let's go wide receiver here. Let's go look at the wide receiver
pull them up. Let's pull
situation.
Them up. Pull them up. Got Boston, Surratt, Bell. Man, I wish he didn't tear his knee. Cooper, Bernard, Jacoby Lane, nice. Zachariah Branch, Malachi Fields. What are you thinking?
You know, let's go Denzel Boston here. Let's give him a big body weapon, a big body guy with elite ball skills and catch radius. Especially if Shedeur is your quarterback, he's a very accurate quarterback himself. You're talking about getting inside the 10 and say, you know what, we can throw that ball up to big Denzel and let him make that play. He can play that power slot role as well in the red zone, and he's got enough route running ability to separate enough in the NFL. I think he could be a good fit for them.
All right, DP, we are here with the playoff teams that are currently playing, so we'll kind of rapid fire this. Chicago, I'm going to take the pick here, and I'm going to go Caden McDonald. It's been a pick that I've made, and they love it, right? Interior defensive line. I really like his play, so I'm going Caden McDonald to Chicago. You're up, Buffalo, 26.
Buffalo, let's go back to wide receiver, Ray. Let's go back to wide receiver.
Really, DP? Okay.
And I tweeted this out. Do not be surprised if you see Elijah Surratt come off the board in the late first round. Let's go Elijah Surratt here to step into that Keon Coleman role. Give them a new number 1 outside wide receiver who can also work into the slot.
Okay. I am up now for San Francisco. Damn it. I really wanted to put a receiver in San Francisco. Oh, DP. Oh, man. Safety. Ooh, AJ Holsey, Genesis Smith, Monroe. What are your thoughts? Have you looked at Freeling yet? Out of Georgia?
No, I got to get eyes on him.
The Niners have to come with a plan. I mean, Trent Williams is 37. I don't know what to do, DP. What are we doing for free? Keldrick Falk is here. We 13th overall over here on Sycamores board. We both don't think he's a speed edge rusher type at 6'6", 285. What do the Niners need here? I mean, linebacker with Fred. I know Fred Warner was hurt. What do we do? I need help, DP. I'm phoning a friend. I don't know because it's been easy for me to take Casey Concepcion here. I'm phoning a friend. What are we doing? They say Rico in the chat says understudy for left tackle. They need a left tackle. Falk going to be Chris Jones 2.0.
Okay. Let's look at O-line.
Okay, O-line. Let's look at it. So tackle. Let's go interior. Let's just pull them both up. That's what we got, DP. It's you got to get your guy. You got to get if you want one. If you want one, you got to get your guy.
Right, you're right. I say because I don't want to pick Freeland because I haven't gotten eyes on him yet, so I can't really tell you if he's good or not. Let's go Emmanuel Pregnon to step it right in that guard. I think he steps right in at the guard spot. Could be a day one type of starter and work his way into there through training camp. Talented player, good strength, good athleticism. I like what I've seen from him on tape.
All right, double it up. Houston, where are they going, DP?
Houston, man, Let's go Christian Miller to Houston, the
I
defensive
like
tackle
it. I
out of
like it.
Georgia.
I
I
like
think
it.
putting him there between Will
Oof.
and my man, like, yeah, I think,
Danielle
listen,
Hunter,
6'4",
yeah.
310, this dude is strong. He's got the Damian Hunter. I think this would be a Miko Ryan's pick through and through.
DP, I'm going to give you the sounder. Go ahead and do it. Make the pick. Rams are on the clock at 29. Make the pick. The people have been waiting
You
on it.
already know, man.
Make
Ty
the pick.
Simpson, baby.
Make the pick.
Ty Simpson.
Talk about it.
To Matthew Stafford. Listen, accuracy, he's got pocket mobility, he's a good athlete. He's just young. He's a young, not in terms of playing, in terms of experience. I think he'll be 24 years old, whatever the case may be. But I think there's a lot of upside for this young man. He's got the athleticism that you can bake into the offense. So yeah, Ty Simpson learning a year or so underneath, behind Matthew Stafford with Sean McVay, Puka Nacua, and that cast of weapons. I love it.
All right, DP, I'm going New England right here. Keldrick Falk off for the board. He's a good player. And I think Mike Vrabel in that system, they can get. Remember, and I'm not comparing him to this player because this was a really, really, really high-end player during his time. But remember how Richard Seymour was sort of that tweener end kind of a run defender, but he could get after the quarterback. I'm not comparing Keldrick Falk to Richard Seymour. I'm a little bit older, y'all, but I do think that at his size, I mean, you're 6'6", 285 pounds. I mean, the older he gets, he's going to get some of that grown man strength, right? And some of that weight on him could be a real force off the edge, especially as a run defender and a situational pass rusher.
I like that.
I think right here at 30, I'm fine with Keldrick Falk off the board. Denver at 31, DP, where are we going?
I like that a lot. Oh, Denver. Let's go. Let's look at tight end real quick.
Okay.
Actually is available.
You trying to go to tight end? We got Stowers. We've got Claire. I don't know how you feel about Joe Lee. Michael Trigg out of Baylor.
I like Joe Lee.
You like Joe Lee? Okay. I like Joe Lee
Trigg.
too.
Hey, I like a lot of these tight ends, to be completely honest. Sam Roosh is a sleeper, guys. Out of Stanford, get your eyes on Sam Roosh. This dude can play, and you know he's going to be able to block.
Okay.
For me, let's go with Eli Stowers here.
All right.
I know they brought in Evan Engram and all of that. I think with Stowers, 6'4", 235, could be that kind of joker type. I just keep building around Bo Nix, man. You already see what the RJ Harvey has done for him, what the defense has done for him. Let's just keep adding pieces to the puzzle for Bo Nix.
All right, and the Super Bowl champion, Seattle Seahawks, according to PFF, with the last pick. DP, they're probably going to need a running back, but we're not going to do that here. There's no running back we're taking at the back of round 1. Center, guard, linebacker, corner. Look at the players that are on the board. I mean, you've got Anthony Hill. You've got a TJ Parker. Cassius Howell is still here. I know you haven't gotten eyes on Freeling. TJ Parker, AJ Halsey at safety. I mean, Akeem Mesidor off the edge. You got Zion Young, Dylan Thineman, Lee Hunter, Romello Height still there. Keontae, what are we doing? Ooh, Keontae Scott and Witherspoon together. My goodness. Whoa.
Man. Oh, man. That's facts. That would be – let's look at corner because Tariq Woolen, I think, is an unrestricted free agent.
Yep.
And he's probably out of there, you know? Yeah, he's probably out of there. Brandon Siss from South Carolina can play.
He's good.
I think Brandon Siss from South Carolina.
He's good.
Let's add him to this secondary. I think he fits the culture, a tough, gritty player, smart player as well, and everything. I think he'll give you the ability to play that flexibility game in terms of alignment versatility with Devin Witherspoon, who could play all over the defensive formation. Let's go Brandon Siss there at the back of round 1. Spice things up, get them another corner because truthfully, we believe that they're not going to keep Tariq Woolen. They were talking about trading them for like the longest. So he's probably not getting paid.
All right, there it is. We ran through the full first round after talking about the 26 class, talking about the 27 class. DP got that Ty Simpson into round 1, LA at 29. And my Cowboys got Sonny style, so I feel good about that. All right, DP, that's the show, baby. That is the show. We appreciate each and every eye in the building. We got a bunch of people watching on social media, on Twitter, and we got a lot of people here watching on YouTube. Much love. We appreciate y'all. Stay tapped into my dog DP and all the content that he is putting out consistently on his channel. NFL draft prospects. We're going to be doing this every single week. DP, tell the people where to find you at, man.
Listen, Bleacher Report, you go check out. I do reports on quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, Locked On NFL Draft, 5 days a week. Go check that out as well. And tune into the Scouting Room. I have a Jeremiah Love breakdown that I got cooking right now. Got setting up for my oldest son's six-year-old birthday this weekend. But I'm gonna get that up soon for you guys as well. And I got a video coming breaking down why Fernando Mendoza is the right pick for the Las Vegas Raiders and how he's going to fit in with the cast of weapons that they already have.
All right, there it is. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Enjoy the college football national championship. Enjoy the divisional round of the NFL. And I'm sure we'll change up some stuff come next week. Much love. We out. Peace.